Hello, welcome to the video. So I just like to talk about the statement that Irenaeus made that so many people believe he's referring to the vision that John received took place toward the end of the mission's reign. When I read it, I'm surprised that this has been so widely accepted. When I read it, I don't come to that conclusion. It doesn't fit. When I read it, I think there's 0% chance that that's what Irenaeus is actually referring to. And I'd like to go over why. So this here, I retyped paragraphs 3 and 4 of the book Against Heresy by Irenaeus, book 5, chapter 30. Okay, paragraph 3 and 4. You should click on this link. By the way, you have access to the interactive PDF in the description below. If you click on this link, you can actually read it for yourself. And now in this translation, it used the word that. Okay, so the word that right here. All right. So from what I gathered, it was originally written in Greek and then translated to Latin and then translated to English. We do not have the Greek. Gee, how does something this significant go missing? That's a whole investigation of itself. So to my understanding, from what I gathered, the Greek can be translated as that, and or it, and or he. Alrighty. So when I look at all three scenarios, and I just follow basic rules of grammar, and I ask myself, where was the focus of Irenaeus? Where is he cognitively focused on? It's not normal to have one sentence really heavy on one thing, and 2 sentences later be still heavy on something, and a sentence between all of a sudden be talking about something else. And that seems to be what's going on. That's widely accepted. It's just not normal. What I just described to you, it's if sentence, so you have sentence A, B, and C. Okay, if sentence A, he's really heavy on this, and sentence C, he's really heavy on this, then it's only natural sentence B that he's also going to be heavy focused on the same things A and C. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. So let's just zoom in here. So as you can see here, I have a lot of red lines and words highlighted red. So this is basically what I'm trying to do here, highlight his train of thought in red. And the red lines get connections, alrighty. So this is the one here where we just read earlier. It's been translated as that. So that, it, or he, alrighty. We need to figure out what this sentence actually referring to. This is the last sentence of paragraph 3. Then paragraph 4 begins with but he, okay? So we have here the word he here, and we have here that can be translated that, it, or he, right? There's no new main subject between this here and this here. Therefore, it's safe to conclude whoever the he is here, most likely the same the he that is here. Just following basic rules of grammar. So let's take a look at number 4. But he indicates the number of the name now, that when this man comes, we may avoid him being aware who he is. The name, however, is suppressed because it's not worthy of being proclaimed by the Holy Spirit. So let's stop right there. So the he here is either referring to either Antichrist or referring to him who beheld apocalypse, John. So there are 2 options: that John or the person who in Irenaeus' mind is Antichrist. So it's Titan in Irenaeus' mind. Okay, Titan, the name of Antichrist that he thinks. Now reading this over and over again, he's 90% certain that this is the person. Okay, he's not 100%. Okay, there are clues that he's not 100% certain. So the he here, either John or Titan, Antichrist. So, but John indicates the number of the name now, that when his name comes, may avoid him being aware who he is. The name, however, is suppressed because it's not worthy of being proclaimed by the Holy Spirit. So obviously it's not referring to John. However, Antichrist, Titan, but he indicates the number of the name now, which fit because here he was going over the number of the name and how Titan fits. Okay, so that fits with what's going on. See all these red lines? It all connects. Okay, the name now at the time he wrote, probably about 81 and 80, that when this man comes, Titan may avoid him. So this he here is obviously referring to Titan. And I don't think anybody could dispute that. So if it's Titan here, chances are he's referring to Titan there as well. Okay, let's look at the previous sentence. The word it and his name, all right, name of Antichrist. So what would the word it be referring to? Name of Antichrist, his name, all right? That's what the word it. The name would have been announced by John, who beheld apocalypse. See how that fits? All right. So the main focus of this sentence here is Titan, who he thinks the Antichrist, and trying to positively identify his name. Okay, by John. Alrighty. So if he cognitively heavily focused on sentence A, Titan, name of Antichrist, and sentence C, Titan, Antichrist, it's only natural sentence B that's in between, that sandwiches between, referring Titan, Antichrist. Are you with me? So let's think this through. We will not, however, incur the risk of pronouncing positive the name of Antichrist, Titan, for it were necessary that his name, Titan, should be distinctly revealed in this present time. It, the name, would have been announced by him who, John, beheld the apocalyptic vision. Are you with me so far? For it, the name, or he, John, Antichrist, or if you go with the word that, name of Antichrist, okay? See how it fits? Was not seen very long time since, but almost in our day, towards the end of the mission reign. So not very long time since what? Since John. So Titan was seen not very long time since John. Okay, are you with me? But almost in our day, toward the end of Domitian's reign. But he, we already saw this, Titan, not John, and definitely not the Book of Revelation. He indicates the number of the name now, that when this man comes, that's based on his calculation that he did earlier, okay, that when this man comes, may avoid him. So it's obviously not referring to the apocalyptic vision. It says man, but may avoid him, okay? So do you see how that flow that fits with the surrounding paragraphs, the surrounding text? If we go with it referring to apocalyptic vision, it adds no value whatsoever to the text. It's you might as well just erase it from this sentence B, if you will, from the rest of the text surrounding text. It adds no value. You don't lose anything if you erase this if it applies to apocalyptic vision. So it's extremely unlikely. And besides, again, based on the rule of translation, from what I gathered, the Greek can be he. Well, it can't be apocalyptic vision. Apocalyptic vision is not a he. Okay, it doesn't work. Can it work with the word it? Yeah, but it doesn't flow with the rest of what he's saying. Alrighty? I am stunned at how this has been so widely accepted that it's referring to apocalyptic vision. It doesn't fit. And it's not natural to conclude that if his focus is heavily on Titan here, sentence B, and his focus is heavily on Titan here, sentence A, it's only natural that sentence B is also referring to Titan. Does that make sense? And it fits with what's going on, the fulfillment of the prophecy of Revelation 17:8. So this suggests that the prophecy was already active at the time, by the time at the end of Domitian's reign, toward the end of Domitian. The prophecy was already in effect. At the time he is writing this, he said he was right here. He was past tense, and is not. The he here is referring to Titan. The past tense. He was the one that was alive toward the end of Domitian's reign. The prophecy is already in effect. So it's a given the book of Revelation would have already been written by then, before then. Already, the prophecy is already in effect toward the end of Domitian's reign. And is not present tense in his Irenaeus mind, and shall ascend. But however, the is not is really, if you follow good hermeneutics, at the time John wrote Revelation, that is not. Alrighty. So I in one of my videos I go over this in more detail, who it actually was. Okay. So obviously I strongly disagree, wholeheartedly, 100% disagree with Irenaeus. I think his theology was seriously flawed when it comes to the book of Revelation. But who cares what I think, right? So hopefully you can see it's not natural to be referring this to the apocalyptic vision. It just, and he even does not call John's name, he just refers to him. So it's not very high in the cognitive level of activity, if you will, the point he's trying to make. It's the focus is not on John, the focus is not on the apocalyptic vision, but the focus is on it, his name, it, he, name, man, okay? The focus is what's on in red, all right? That is where he is heavily cognitively heightened awareness, the forefront of his mind. I'm trying to find words that really get my point across here. So it's extremely unlikely that he's referring to the apocalyptic vision was seen not very long time since. He's referring to Titan seen not very long time since John, the one who would be announced by him that, yeah, it was Titan that was seen vision. Now, so he recognizes that John had died before Titan toward the end of Domitian's reign. That's what's going on here. It was not seen very long time since. So there was a short window that, John could have identified who it was, whether it was Titan or not. But he was not seen very long time since then. So what he's saying is that John was gone not very long time since then. Alrighty? Here's the problem. But what about books 2 and 3, where he said John was seen until Trajan, which is extremely unlikely. Okay, I believe that is a modification by Eusebius. I have a series on Eusebius. I highly recommend you watch it. You'll see this guy's not credible. He has rewritten history, and he even been quoted. He doesn't think it's a big deal to lie. So I encourage you to watch this series. So this here, I believe, was a rewrite by Eusebius. And what he was trying to do, he was trying to make it look like there was apostolic succession. You read the very first sentence in ecclesiastical history, you'll see where I'm coming from. What he was trying to do. He was trying to make it look like that apostolic succession was valid, that they're being transferred is pure and has no blemishes, and that we can count on it, and that's inspired, if you will. But if you want apostolic succession, just read from the horse's mouth itself. Just read the the Bible, the New Testament. That way you are reading from the horse's mouth. That's apostolic succession. All right? To go and read through another person's mind, like a person with a medieval church father, you're getting secondhand succession. And you're prone to rewrites of history, you're prone to all kinds of problems, and they're not infallible. Just like we are, okay? We're not infallible. So anyway, I'm kind of drifting off here. But that is really what's going on here. It fits. You're going to have to decide for yourself. But it's definitely not natural to think that this here, we've been just referring to apocalyptic vision. It doesn't add any value surrounding text whatsoever. What difference does it make? When you look at the surrounding text, it adds no value whatsoever. And again, it's just not natural for him to be cognitively heightened toward Titan, and all of a sudden suppressed down to apocalyptic vision, and then back to Titan again. This sentence has to do with Titan, all right, who Irenaeus thinks is Antichrist. That's my take on it anyway. All right, well, thank you very much for watching, and again, I encourage you to really think this through. It's stunning that this has been so widely accepted amongst Christians. It's like nobody really looked at this carefully and thought this through. Anyway. All right, thank you very much, and you have an awesome day.